friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Melissa. I'm going to attempt to do a budget closeout in Ynab for the month of June 2024. I'm just going to jump right in and go over the numbers. I'm going to show you what was spent in the month of June and what was brought in. So let's just go right on in. So first up, I'm going to talk about the inspector. So this section on the right that I usually close out is called the inspector, and this is where you can do a lot of auto assign. These are linked to the category, so it's telling me for the month of June I was underfunded by $1,060, and I'm thinking this is all for my credit cards because I had used bills that I would pay during the month to satisfy my monthly payments, so I didn't really make monthly credit card payments in June. That is something that I'm hoping to change in the month of July. So this $3.32 here is interest that we gained on our accounts during the month of June, and that I left to roll over into the month of July. All right, I'm going to go down and show you that everything else is either grayed out because it was snoozed, I didn't want to put any more money in the categories, or it was fully spent and I wasn't going to use any more money in this category. So here in the credit card category, the full category has all yellows except for Mattress Firm and Famous Footwear. Famous Footwear is completely paid off. It's at a zero balance, and Mattress Firm, I did make the $67 payment, which is the monthly minimum, and that one is fully spent. So everything else needed more money according to the target that is set up in Ynab, but I didn't put any more monies in there. Going down, everything else is all grayed out, fully spent or fully satisfied. Now let's talk about the rest of the things here that are in the inspector. I'm going to minimize auto assign because we're not going to do anything with the auto assign. All right, so total monthly targets, this section right here, and this is something that came from Toolkit for Ynab. I'm believing this is not a part of the usual Ynab inspector. If it is, I'm sorry that I got it mixed up, but there are some things that Toolkit brings in. All right, total monthly targets that is set up in Ynab. So all of my categories that has a target, the total monthly is supposed to be $10,763.88. Savings targets, that's everything in my savings categories, is $1,434.90. And all the spending targets is $9,328.98. Budgeted for targets was $10,918.89. And what I went over exceeded from targets is $155.01. Now let's minimize that one also. Now the income versus expenses, this is what we're actually going to talk about in Ynab here for the month of June. The total income that was brought in was $9,745.84. That's the amount of money that I entered in June as income. This is not monies from the month of May that I assigned. This is only what was brought in the month of June. Okay? Total spent in June is $11,639.55. That you will see when I go into the spending report. And total save, or the net income, is in the negative $1,893.71. And why this is because the amount that was spent was less than what was brought in. Okay? Hope you're following me so far. Let's minimize this side too. All right, so the next up is the available in June. So it's saying that there was $40.61 available in June. Leftover from last month, which is the month of May, is $903.04. So I'm thinking when I rolled into the month of June, there was $903.04 that was not assigned or that was not paid out. It rolled over into the next month. $10,918.89. That was assigned in the month of June into the targets or into the categories. The activity that happened was $11,864.54. And there was no overspending, zero. So everything that was paid out, whether or not I was over budget, it was covered. So there was nothing overspent. And you could see that because there's nothing in the red or there's nothing screaming out for money here in the budget. So that is perfect. And this I had mentioned to you guys in my debt update that whatever was spent out in the month of June, especially on credit cards, they were paid back. All right, so here we go. I won't go over the assigned in the future because today is July 8th, so I am a little behind. So I'm not going to go over what was assigned in the future. If I was doing this at the end of the month, I would, but we don't need to talk about this part right here. What I'm going to do though, I'm going to jump over into the spending summary in the report section. All right, so here we go. This is our spending summary, and this pie chart here gives me a breakdown of where all my money went. All right, so let's go through each category. First up, this big blue section is our monthly bills. Rent was $2,500, cell phone was $284.32, my internet was $122.95, electric was $79.71, Peloton was $44, SiriusXM $727, HP Inc. $542, iCloud storage $299, and Google Cloud $216. So that is $3,048.82. A total of 26.2% of my total monthly spent. The My Babies section, which is my second biggest category spent in the month of June. $660 for the babysitter, $526 for child support. After school is $240. Braces $164. Clothes and shoes for the kids $110.95. Haircuts was $60. Gifts was $47.58. And fund money and allowance was $24. So this is a total of $1,832.53 total. And that is also 15.7% of the total spent for the month. Next is the everyday spending section. Groceries, $660.39. Reimbursements is $415. And this reimbursement here is for monies that was spent at the periodontist that I'm waiting to be reimbursed. So as soon as I'm finished with this video, I'm going to call up my insurance because I went to the periodontist in April, the end of April, and I still have not received any kind of reimbursement from them. And I need to get a few things done at the periodontist. So I was told that there are pockets in between my gum and my teeth, and that is not a good thing. So I was feeling a lot of sensitivity in an area in my mouth, and my dentist recommended that I see a periodontist. Now the periodontist specializes in these things, and he did find that I have pockets in certain areas. Now with the pockets in your mouth, you can get bacteria and other buildup in those areas, and that is very bad. So he's trying to clean those out. That's why I did the scaling and planing, which is the deep cleaning. Then he put some medication in there, and so far we're doing well. So we're doing these appointments to get me back to perfect dental health. Okay, so if you have not checked out, and if your dentist has not recommended, maybe once a year you should check with a periodontist to make sure you are in perfect mouth health. Your body is another thing, but you have to really do take care of your mouth, okay? So the next up is household goods for $318.09. Eating out is $281.36. Giving is $91.44. And I'm just going to tell you what this giving is about. I did get some stuff. I did speak about this before. I bought my babysitter and my coworker at work some things, souvenirs back from Jamaica for $79. And the rest of it is $5 in tip for the barber. And there's a $7.44 additional tip because I did get my son's haircut twice in the month of June. And the second time that I got his haircut, I didn't have cash. So I ended up using my debit card, and they do still charge a percentage when you charge a card. So I just chalked it up to be tip, anything that was over the amount that I would usually pay the barber. So that's $7.44. Medication is $55.49. It's not all medication. I just didn't go in and break this back out. So I did go to the doctor's once in the month of June. I needed a clearance appointment. I did have a small procedure done at the end of June, and I needed clearance. But when I went in, there was an old bill of $25 that I did pay. $50 was for copays and $5.49 was for medication. Next up is unexpected spending, and I'm going to tell you guys about this one also. It was postage at the UPS store, so $4.35 and $5.44 for a total of $9.79. So that's it for this category. I'm going to tell you it's $1,831.56 spent in everyday spending, and that is a whopping 15.7% of the total spent. Now, in the main focus, this is all about my loans. $10.60 for my lending club, $5.10 for my One Main, and $40 for my student loan. This is basically what I would pay on a monthly basis. That is 13.8% of the total spent. Transportation is $1,418.51. Auto loan is standard for $939.23. Car insurance $265.53. Car fuel is $185.10. And parking fees was $28.65. Now, that is also 12.2% of the total spent. Next category is travel, and this is all for the tickets, $889.96. This was monies that was spent. We did buy our kids' plane tickets to go to Jamaica using Afterpay. So we were paying installments back just so we wouldn't have to pay any interest on it. That's what the travel is all about. Miscellaneous, this is a category that I created late in June. So this is me pulling out my credit card interest to be in a category all by itself. So in the month of June, $486.45 is my credit card interest. The next category up is my true expenses. Now, true expenses is, True expenses is $474.20. This is monies that came out of my savings categories. This is the sinking funds. Ynab calls it your true expense. This is you saving for something that you know is going to happen sometime. So passport renewal, I had to get my son's passport renewed in the month of June for $230.13. So he is going to Jamaica sometime in July, and we needed his passport renewed. So luckily I looked and I realized that his passport was expired and we had to renew it. So this comprised of the renewal fee of $195. So the Department of State gets $160, the post office gets $35, and I had to take him new passport pictures for $35.13. Next is Ynab for $107.53. That is the yearly subscription, the annual subscription for Ynab. So I did sign up because I love the software. I was expecting it to be $98, but with fees, it came up to be $107.53. Birthdays, I did get my little one some gifts, $80.02. Defensive driving. So my insurance is renewing in the month of July. I really do want to pay it for the full premium of 6 months. But defensive driving gets you 10% off your car insurance. It also reduces, I think, 4 points on your driver's license if you have points on your license. I don't have any points on my driver's license, so I use defensive driving to lower my car insurance. The cost is $30.45. It renews every 3 years. This was something that was not in my budget. So I put it into the true expenses. I spent $30.45. Next is the debt payoff planner app. So I'm using this app to track my debts in one place. And I like to see it, it's pretty. I like to look at it. It cost me $26.07 for the full year. And we're going to see, how well it works. If it doesn't work for me, or if it's not something that I utilize throughout the year as much as I thought that I would, we will not renew next year. But that came out of our true expense. So our true expenses was 4.1% of the total. Next, and I think this is the last category for the personal. So $47.52 I spent on myself. There was $32.29 for braids and things, and $15.23 in personal products. This was all things feminine care products, okay? That total is only 0.4% of the total spent. So that is all of the categories, you guys. There's nothing else that was spent. The total monthly amount is $11,639.55. Let's jump back over to the month of June in the budget. So I did come up with 3 goals for the month of June. The first one was to continue using the split bill pay method, and I did that. So there's a check for that. I wanted to pay off Carter's, which was my second goal, and I did not do that. So because Carter's didn't have a bill due, I left it. I didn't even pay a minimum payment because there was nothing due. Carter's goal is going to roll into the month of July. And the next one was to pay $2,000 in principal payments to all of my debts, and I did that. These were my 3 goals. I've accomplished 2 out of 3. I'm proud of myself for that. So it's, a pat on my back for that one. And that's it. So we're now in the month of July. I am sorry this video is so late, but here it is. Here is my spending summary for the month of June. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So before you go, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're doing very well. I did hit the 4,000 watch hours milestone. This is great. I did put out a short about that yesterday. I did hit that milestone. So the next thing that I need to do, you guys, is to get my subscriber up. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe on your way out. Share with a friend. Invite a friend to subscribe. We are on a journey, and as of right now, it's looking like we can accomplish some goals. I don't feel as defeated as I did before. I can actually see a small flicker of a light at the end of the tunnel, and we're going to continue to move along with this journey. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and come back and see me next time. So until then, bye guys.